Oh, yeah. No, well, partially, yes.
What is that song? Mambo number 5.
5. Yeah, 5. Number 5. This is the end way.
How's everybody?
Good. Great.
Wonderful.
That's very cooperative.
No. You hear, you need my cane like that old guy did last night. I guess that he was supposed to answer.
I wouldn't use it like that. Which is just like.
Yeah.
All right, so this is already 1K. Not so bad, right? So we're already half the way there. And before we're not gonna really talk about who they were worshiping in this temple. What I do want you to see here, it's just two things. One, we already mentioned that they would be covering this with lime plaster with paintings or carvings. In this case, almost towards the top, just below the thatch roof, on the lintel of the door frame, you can see some lime plaster with blues and reds and kind of yellowish colors too. Those are original. Okay, that's the kind of paintings that they had, not only up there, but the whole building was covered with it. In this case, obviously, since they were at least 600-700 years ago, they have been fading out, it's eroded, but it will be like that, brighter colors all over the building, and not only outside, inside as well. You can actually see the room right here at the bottom, which actually was a different stage of construction or a different adding to it. On the inside, you can still see some remains of the lime plaster, so it will be outside and inside. The two best preserved murals were found indoors. So this is what they were having in paintings on the buildings. I would like you to imagine you coming into the city, and this is all flat, right? There's no mountains or hills or anything like that. And now the vegetation, because of the population, 55,000 people, most of it wouldn't be here. So imagine yourselves or picture yourselves going into the city in a flat land, and then you have buildings rising, in this case about 45 feet more or less, or 137 feet painted on red. It's the first thing that you see when you go in. So it's not only for the gods, it's a little bit of publicity for the city, the kind of power that they had. So this is one thing. And then the other thing is the architecture. I don't know if you noticed, most of the, well, actually the first building we saw, all the columns were square columns. And actually the building just right there, it has square columns too. And then look at this one right here. This is round columns. So every area has its own architecture, its own way of building. And that means that the architecture you find here is not the same one that you find in Chichen Itza or in Guatemala or in Belize. Every area has its own way of building. And Maya is pretty much with square columns. When you find round columns, you have to ask yourself, where do we have round columns? And start connecting the dots. And in this case, we have a place, Chichen Itza, that has round columns. But in Chichen Itza, we know that Chichen Itza was inhabited by Maya, then abandoned, then re-inhabited by the Itzais, and then the Toltecs from central Mexico came in and merged with the Itzais. And what we see today of Chichen Itza is Maya Toltec. So we can also see Toltecs, and then they have also round columns. So when you see round columns, you can associate pretty much with the Toltecs, instead of Chichen Itza, with the Toltecs. So without any text, without any writings, just because of the architecture, we can tell that there was some kind of connection between these two cultures or two places. That could have been, might as well just somebody who went there, saw the style, liked it, and then copied it. Or it could be a real connection between these two cities. So these are the kind of things that we have to think about. All these square things are pretty much altars for offerings. And right there where you are standing, which is not a problem, but right, there's those four stones, that was a burial. a child actually. That's the only. That's the only place where they have been found so far. It's 80 square kilometers, so that's the only place where it has been found. We cannot say that it was sacrificed, it was a child. And even though there was the belief, or there is the belief that it could be sacrificed in that case too. In this case, it's most likely an offering for in the case of a temple, which most likely would be kind of asking for another baby or something like that. So this is the only one that they have found so far, and I'm gonna change the subject completely. We're gonna talk about these three right here. This is not the bad one. Okay, this is a sacred tree for the Maya. It's called ceiba in Spanish or English, and in Maya would be called Yaxche. Yaxche means either green tree or first tree. Could be green because when they're young they have a very bright green color, or could be first tree because it's the tree that the Mayas took for the representation of a tree of life, which was in the center of the universe, and there would be like a first tree as well. The trunk of the tree would represent the home of a living. Okay, for the Maya, the earth is a square. If you see it from the top, you have the square across in the center, cardinal points, pretty much north, south, east, and west, color codes, and gods holding the corners of the sky. In the center, the tree of life. The trunk would be the home of a living. The branches going up would be the upper world. 13 branches, 13 levels of the upper world, 13 different gods. And the roots going down would be the underworld. 9 roots, 9 different levels of the underworld, 9 different, in this case, lords of the darkness. So the peculiar thing about this tree is this right here. It sounds hollow. The bark is really hard, the inside is very soft. So the belief in this case is that there's a passage between the branches, the trunk, and the roots. In other words, upper world, home of a living, and the underworld. So again, this is a sacred tree for the Maya. This is the same type of tree that you saw in the ball court in one of the corners. It's the same type of tree that you can find at the entrance. There's 5 or 6 trees of them kind of blocking the entrance. It's the same type. They don't cut it. It's again a sacred tree, and it's called ceiba or Yaxche, right? Did you already take your pictures? Yes? No? Here?
Yeah.
Are we ready to move? I hear most. Yes. Okay, we're gonna start moving. The ones who haven't taken your pictures, take them, and then while we start moving, you will catch up with us.